What's up, guys? I wonder if we can get some games on the PTR today. We'll have to see. If we can't find games, not sure what we do. Guess not. What's up, Francis? How you guys doing? PTR today? We're gonna try, at least. I'm not really sure if we're actually gonna be able to find games on the PTR. That'll be the trick. Can't find games. Not sure what we do. I feel like playing normal ladder right now is kind of uninteresting. When there's a big patch coming, and we don't really have any tournaments to play on the current patch. Not sure what we do. Maybe we play some other game while waiting for patch to drop. So far it's looking kind of rough. In queue for 3 minutes already. What could we play? The Blackery? Yeah, if we can find games. It's looking kind of difficult for sure. So I was thinking about maybe playing some other game today. Because I feel like playing the regular live server when we're waiting for this big patch feels kind of pointless. I'm not really sure. AV2 or 4 time. I've actually been wanting to play a little bit of AV2. But it's a lot to dive into, for sure. You know? It's a bit early. I just need to make one more drone here. Might have to change my mouse after this. The drag scroll is not working the way I want it to. Yeah, it's bugging out all the time. Okay, I have another mouse I can use temporarily while I get this one fixed. So again, I think it's CBC. We just do do this. This is awkward though, for sure. Like, do I still make the overload here? Guess we have to. Kind of sucks, but I think we kind of have to. It's a very early pool. Oh, that's not good. He's playing 4 queen. What I'm doing here is pretty bad. Going for this link plot, but yeah. Oh, if he's doing this, then maybe not. I think we ended up ahead, even though our defense was really bad. Like, misclicking on the rocks was not good. What was this? Was this like a 9 pool? It was even later, that was 12 pool. Such a late pool and still felt so committed by him. Like, we messed up our defense really bad, but it still felt like we were quite far ahead. Like, we took so much damage on our links for no reason here. And then I misclicked on the rocks. Lost 3 drones. We probably end up slightly behind, but that's mostly just because we had a really bad defense. After attack, it was like even basically, but we lost 3 drones which we really shouldn't have. Yeah, it's like pretty much exactly even. Our second queen is faster, our link speed is faster, so like we're ahead, for sure. But we should be even further ahead than we are. Alright. Be right back, guys. I need to grab a different mouse. Alright. 2 seconds, guys. Plug in a new mouse and download the driver and stuff. In a few minutes. Let's see. This mouse actually didn't come with any grip tape, unfortunately. Mm. Sorry about this, guys. I just need to find the driver. I think we're getting everything sorted, guys. 1 second. I have some spare grip tape somewhere. think I had any that will actually fit. I'll have to do without it. Alright, let's try. Playing with a new mouse. The scroll click is very uncomfortable in this one for sure compared to the B-Stacks. Like going from the left click to the scroll click is very uncomfortable. The clicks feels nice though. Alright. We'll queue for like 4 minutes or something. And if we can't get a game, we'll see what we do. Try to play some other game maybe. Or if we just play the live version, but it feels very pointless to play the live version when there's a big patch coming, right? You hope there's not a big patch coming? I mean, it's coming, right? I don't think the current PTR will be the final version, but they're definitely gonna put the patch out. With probably some changes to what they have right now, but I mean, there's some good stuff about the patch for sure, but yeah, I'm not personally a fan of the economy changes and the work gate changes. Do you ever play team games? Not that much to be honest, but that's maybe something we could do. Well, for me it depends on what they have planned going forward. If they're gonna drop this patch and then do nothing for a year, it would be very disappointing. Thank you very much for the 40 months resub, Pikachu. Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, like the 8 worker start, I think is bad long term. Short term, I think it's fine. So it depends if they're gonna make more changes in the future, right? Or if they're just gonna leave it like this. Yeah, it's very hard to see. Unnecessary change? Yeah, I kind of agree. Especially since they're doing the warp gate changes at the same time, right? Like this patch has a lot of stuff in it. Like a lot of like quality of life and like things that makes the game easier to play in some ways. And then they're doing the worker change as well on top of it, right? I think they should have either just on the economy changes or everything else except the economy changes, right? So we can actually test stuff. Because now it feels so pointless to actually test anything, because there's just way too much at once. It's gonna take so long to figure everything else out. Yeah, I mean, going down on the workers, like, and the economy changes in general, seems like they don't really understand why, like, why we went to 12 workers and why we did the mineral changes in the first place, right? A little bit. But yeah, I would not be happy if they just leave the game in this state for a year plus now. That's how I would play too, yeah. This is gonna be tricky. Oh. Okay. This is kind of annoying. I think we have to go Ravager here just because he's gonna control our ramp. I didn't see this pylon until super late. I could have definitely pulled workers if I saw it a bit earlier. But this will be an interesting one to look on the replay. Definitely need to keep this hatchery though. Just for the supply and stuff. Also need to be able to make overlords here. They're probably gonna be a solid, right? So did not make a solid actually. Maybe it would have been better to make a tumor here actually. Kind of regrets that decision there. Gateway, okay. That's very bad by me. I think we can actually hit this from the bottom without him being able to reach. Can I reach from up here? Probably not, right? A bit messy, for sure. I want to see if I could have seen this pylon, maybe react a bit differently. Hard to see it in time. Like, I don't really see it until this cannon goes down. Like, right now. Unless I go for 11 Overlord instead. It's pretty much the same build, to be honest. So maybe it's better just for that reason. Because then I can pull a couple of drones here and try to actually fight this. This hits quite early. But yeah, we didn't need to lose this Overlord. Like, as soon as I see the second gateway, I know he's making stalkers, so I should already be running away. This one. Yeah. Honestly, like, I don't... It's kind of fun to just mess around with the new worker changes. Like, for now, right? Short term, it's pretty fun to, you know, discover new builds and how to deal with new timings and stuff. Makes the game feel fresh. But long term, it's probably gonna be worse overall, right? Compared to 12 workers, I think. once you actually get past the initial learning phase. Trying to watch StarCraft content in 2026 without community spitting pure negativity about the game is sad. Think about coming back to the game, but with how negative everyone is on all streams, just feels meh. I mean, there's definitely a lot of, you know, vocal minority going on, I think. I think the majority of people who enjoy playing the game are just playing the game, you know? That's always like a risk with being on the internet. Like, I'm not super against these changes. I'm against some of the changes, but in general, I view the patch as a positive thing. But again, it depends what their plans are long term, right? I wouldn't be happy if they just did this patch and then left the game for years, right? Then I think this patch is actually probably worse than what we have right now. But if this is like the, you know, a step along the way, and they're gonna be doing more changes on top of this moving forward, then I'm kind of okay with it. Makes the game a bit more exciting. If there was a hotfix and the workers went up to 10, would it be better or would it barely change? I mean, I think just staying at 12 workers would be fine. I don't think it really makes a massive difference, other than this, like, you know, it creates this, like, short period of time where we have to relearn and rediscover, like, opening builds and timings and stuff, right? So it makes the game more fun short term, but in terms of how the games will play, it will just feel slower than it was before. Which, you know, maybe some people like. Yeah, it's hard to know, right? I hope it's the former. You would think so, right? Because of the fact that they, you know, Xbox has taken over, not Xbox, Microsoft has taken over Blizzard. Maybe there's been like some changes in structures and how they do things, and they're starting to come into effect now, right? Maybe they will actually get more of AoE 2 treatment, right? Where we start to get more regular updates and stuff. Maybe even new content moving forward. Because there was a lot of cool things in this patch, with like new animations and new effects and a bunch of quality of life stuff. I'm kind of against some of the quality of life stuff, like, you know, things that makes the game easier for no real benefit. Like, I'm very for things that are like clunky or inconsistent and stuff like that to get fixed, like the units losing attack target on like SCVs building stuff, right? Light, thanks so much for the raid, dude. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. But I don't really like, you know, things like making, you know, giving all the spellcasters attacks. And not a huge fan of the dropper lord changes and stuff like that. Because I think it just makes the game straight up easier, and it don't think there's any reason to actually do that. Part of the charm of StarCraft and RTS in general is that it's difficult. And if you start making things easier, then it's always just like, where do you draw the line, right? Eventually we'll be playing auto battlers. Which is something that already exists out there, so if people wants to play auto battlers, they can play auto battlers, right? Top baby links. I don't mind this mouse too much, except for the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel is really bad compared to the B-Stacks. Get a late tool there. This probe came from a suspicious angle. We would keep the hatchery here. I don't think we do. Try to do that. This is actually pretty rough for us, because he can expand, right? We'll probably have to cancel this. Oh, we don't want to do that. Wait, what? We lose our ocean cannon. What happened? Oh! Okay. There's some big mishaps happening here. I think we keep this one. Almost link speed here. Great if we didn't lose that. If I didn't lose those two roaches for no reason, we would be chilling here. Ah, this is so bad, dude. The fact we haven't cleared this yet, it's so bad. This is Not pretty game by me, for sure.
점막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다.
Kinda looks like he's going into ground from here. Oh, decent. Okay, that's fine.
점막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다. 공격받고 있습니다.
There's also a lot of new sound effects they've added to stuff. Also cool.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
I think so, yeah.
받고 있습니다. 수행할 수 없는 명령입니다.
That was the Archon finishing.
없는 명령입니다. 변이 완료.
A little bit careful here.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 변이
think we could just go likely.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Yeah, I lost like 2 roaches for free completely in the early game. Very, very bad by me. Just keep those alive. Hopefully fine. Maybe I could have attacked the pylon from the high ground here. Probably not. I think so. State is online. Maybe we can get some games versus State. Few people thinks it's a loss. I think it just doesn't work properly on the PTR. I'm surprised it's even working at all on the PTR. But like if you go into the actual thing, it does say that I won the game, so it's working correctly on the link. It's just the it's struggling to keep track of the session score, I guess. It said 0-5 every time so far. You only played 3 games, so 0-5 all the yesterday too. Yeah, I think the PTR kind of messes with it. How do I find the new patches, Zerg? It's hard for me to have a strong opinion on it right now, just because there's so many bugs still. There's a lot of things I like about the patch. The economy changes, I think the economy changes are kind of fun short term. I think they're bad long term, most likely. Because they don't really add anything, they just kind of slow the game down. But yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff in the patch though, for sure. If you go into my channel page on YouTube, there's I made a video yesterday talking about what I think about the changes and stuff, so yeah, the overspeed is one of the things where, like, I hope this was not intentional by them, because I think what they wanted to do when the workers start went from 6 to 12, they had to increase the overload speed, right? So it could arrive at a somewhat early time into the game still, so you could actually scout properly. But what they did now when they turned it down is it's actually slower now than it was when we had 6 workers. So it arrives super late into the game. I feel like Terran could probably open CC first and still have a Marine out before you get your Overlord to their natural. That's kind of how late it arrives. Maybe not that late, but feels like it's pretty close to it. So it went from 0.9 to 0.7 in this patch. In Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty, it was 0.82. So it should be somewhere between 0.82 and 0.9, right? Probably like 0.84 or something like that. Is probably where it should be at. To match the... allowing it to arrive at the same stage as it usually does. But, you know, maybe this is an actual decision by them, in which case I think it's a very bad decision because it just makes the game more random. Especially in TVC. What's up, Skillus? What do you think about the PTR? I don't know. I don't really have any super strong opinions yet. It's also hard because there's so many bugs that aren't fixed. I think the worker start... It's fun right now, just because, you know, there's new builds, new timings to figure out. But I think once we get past that phase of figuring everything out, I think it's probably gonna be worse than 12 workers. The warp gate stuff, I think it's a cool idea, but right now what it does, I think, is just kind of kills the Protoss early game options. Like, Protoss was already playing, you know, double Adept into Oracle, into Blink Stalker every game, basically. But now they don't really have an option to do anything else, I feel like. Because any, like, sort of, like, Robo first or Twilight first opener is just dead by the warp gate change. I would prefer it if they, like... Let's say they, I don't know, they need to do something about the warp gate, for sure. I'm not sure exactly how they change it to what they want to. Like, maybe just keep the old, everything else the same as it was, and just give them, like, bonus production speed from normal gateways after warp gate is researched, right? Like, get rid of all the, keep the old warp in times, keep the old, you know, warp gate on Cybercore, and allow warp gates to be transformed for free, but if you keep them in normal gateways, they actually produce faster still. Something I would also like to see them do maybe is just like find a way to make gateway units better in the mid and late game. And then nerf some other stuff like the Tempest and stuff. Like maybe add some new upgrades or something. Pick up my build order here. Supposed to do 18 Overlord. This is gonna be a bit tough. Maybe we can do double extract click here to get Surgeons out. It's gonna be annoying. How do you play Robo First on live version? I mean, I think you can definitely play on some maps, like in a best of 7, you can definitely mix in some non-target openers. Because in order to like punish them, you kind of have to blindly do it as a Zerg. You can't really reactively punish Robo First openers. But it's also just, I think it's just a bit worse, so yeah. Definitely over mid links here. No real reason. Yeah, they are, for sure, for sure. There's a lot of things they could do. But again, I hope this isn't like the, final iteration or anything. I hope that they're gonna keep working on this and just try some different things. Hopefully. But the cool thing about this patch is like all the quality of life stuff they added and like new animations, new sound effects, these kinds of things I think are very cool to have in the game. And very cool to see that they're actually doing stuff like that, because it's like we haven't seen that in forever, right? I'm not a big fan of the like some of the quality of life changes that makes the game just straight up easier, like giving the infestors an auto attack and picking up units easier with dropper lords and stuff. Like things that just makes the game easier for like no real reason. I'm not a fan of. Personally, I think it's part of the reason why StarCraft, especially, and RTS in general, is so good and fun to play. It's because it's difficult. I'm like for changing things that are like random or inconsistent, like the the stasis ward fix and the SCV not losing aggro when it's building stuff. These kinds of things. I'm all for. But things that just flat out makes the game easier for no real reason now. I have a hard time accepting. And yeah, also the ghost changes are just insane to me. Like, the ghost is gonna be so extremely broken if that goes through. At least in TVC. But I'm guessing it's gonna be strong in TVT too. Oh, he's meching. I didn't realize. That's kind of bad by me. Maybe some investors for Trout can actually be okay. Potentially. Good thing I made these infestors. G. One thing that I think that could actually be cool is like letting Protoss get like +4 attack, giving that like they nerf the other late game stuff, right? Something like that to allow gateway units to be better in the late game, and then you can tune down the stuff like yeah, Mothership and Tempest. Hoping there will be some iteration, hoping for next week. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I hope they don't just push this to live as it is right now. Because as it is right now, it's really hard to even test stuff just because there's so many bugs. What do you think about Immortal? Like, honestly, I think the Immortal is fine right now. It's hard to say, because you never really get to see... Nobody really plays, like, full ground anymore, right? I can't remember the last time I actually got to play like that. Like, I've never really gotten to play, you know, like... with the Shroud versus full ground, really. Because... Protoss just always just goes Mothership and Tempest, right? Yeah, I think the new Storm is definitely stronger than the old one once you have, like, 6+ High Templars. I think like if you only have like 2 or 3 storms, I think the old one was definitely better. But once you have enough High Templars, you just like spam storms. The new one is kinda insane. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Whereas before you could kind of like go in, dodge the storms, and then like wait for 1 second and then go again, right? When you were playing like, let's say, Hydraling Bane versus any storm composition. But now it's like, as soon as you drop the first storm, you either go back and wait, or you try to like dive through it. But if they have another storm to put in front of the other storm, then it's kinda, you're kinda cooked. Yeah, yeah. But I feel like, you know, I haven't played enough to be sure about this, but I feel like Protoss can pretty much just play the same as they used to, right, on this patch. They just have way less options of what they can do, right? In PvZ at least. Like, you can play double adept, like block the natural, go double adept into Oracle, into second Oracle, into Blink, and just delay your warp gate compared to what you used to have, right? So you lose options of doing like glaive timings, stuff like that. After the first target unit. But I think Protoss is fine, probably, if they just play super standard into late game every game, but kinda sucks if it's like that. Like, there's no way the warp gate can go through as it is right now. You need to do something with it. Maybe bugs, something like didn't take damage the first time you hit them. Yeah, that's just their ability, no? That triggers the shields. The first tick of damage triggers the shields, and then you either have to burst through the shield, which is like 150 HP, is that correct? Or you just wait like 1 second, and then the shield times out. Maybe it's more than 150, maybe it's like 200 something. Like, you pretty much never, like, very rare scenario do you actually try to burst through the shields. Most times it's just like you trigger the shields and then you wait 1 second and then you attack again. 5-minute queue. Yeah, it's hard to play the PTR. For sure. Only 1 year? So no. The Immortal Shields have been in the game since forever. It's been like since early Legacy. Or like, maybe like 20... They changed it a bunch of times. But I want to say like the last time they changed the Immortal Shield was like... 2017? Can check the Wikipedia. Barrier is now a passive ability and the cooldown is reduced from 43 to 32, but this was 3.8, patch 3.8, which was a long time ago. That was like one of the Blizzard patches. Like one of the old Blizzard patches. Let's see. This was in 2016, December 8, 2016. That was the last time they changed the Immortal Shields. But yeah, it used to be different in Heart of the Swarm and early Legacy. They changed it a bunch of times. Like at first it was just like a damage reduction. Like it's a flat damage reduction percentage, I believe. And then they did it like an active ability that you had to click, and it lasted for way longer. And now it's, yeah, the current auto-activate. Supple Rainbow. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to play the live version right now, does it? I don't really have any tournaments to practice for, so I feel like it just makes more sense to play the PTR, but we're starting to find games. Telemann, thank you so much for the 5-month price of it. Thank you, thank you. I mean, I don't mind the PTR so much just because, you know, it's new and there's like stuff to figure out, but most likely I think I agree with the fact that it's probably worse than 12 Workers Start in the long run. And the mineral patch is also probably, like, the economy is just in general worse than the live version, but yeah, it's still new, therefore it's still kind of fun. Read the manifesto? You mean your the death of cheese or what? I didn't make it through the entire thing. It was too long. It's too long. But yeah, like I think the biggest thing for me is just that the hatchery gives less supply. I mean, obviously everything gives less supply, but the fact that the hatchery gives less supply just nerfs everything that's early game centered in the early game, right? Double inject is always a mistake, I think, in this patch. Yeah, this is bad. Because I need to get a third queen now, right? And I'm gonna have 2 full injects. I can't even spend my hatchery larva. It's not good. I guess we do double tumor now instead. Not pretty sure on the Oracle timings here. Caitlyn, thank you very much for the raids. Welcome everybody. We are grinding games in the PTR. Oh man, I'm gonna lose more overlords. Actually, you have to be so much more careful with your overlord spreads, since you're so slow now. Probably gonna lose like another overlord here, depending on where he goes. Still no... third here. Kinda looks like Skytoss, I would say. He's researching warp gate though. Well, he's researching on the Cybercore, so it's quite easy to tell that he's doing something Stargate oriented. So I definitely want to look around for proxy pylons here. That's weird, he's getting warp gates and +1. Carriers. Warping a bunch of stuff here, so most likely he's just doing gateway all-in follow-up here. This last round of drones is a little bit of a troll, but I think we're far enough ahead that it doesn't really matter here. He's making more. Carriers and motherships, so I cancelled the last round of roaches there. Yeah, I don't know about this. Don't think he realizes what the position is right now. I hate this, by the way, that they did this. Like, this change I really hate, that you can't inject properly with your inject or your crucial queens now. And as soon as one guy gets in range, you can't use it with these guys anymore. The index change? Yeah, so the first thing they did is like before, if I did like click inject and then I wanted to stack injects like this, I would have had to like wait for the queen to finish the animation before I could do it. So that's the first change they did. It's like, yeah, if you want to stack injects, you would have to... It's easier to just stack injects now. Like, they don't get... The orders don't get cancelled randomly because you did it too fast or too slow. The other change they did is that, let's say this queen, they put like a max range on inject. Oh, they actually updated it, or did they? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So they put a max range on casting inject, so that, for example, the way it's supposed to work, the way they intended it to work, is that it's gonna stop your queens from running around. So like, for example, this queen, if it's over here, it can't inject this space or this space, because there's a queen next to it. Yeah, so like, even though I'm holding inject here, with only this queen, it can't cast inject in these two hatcheries because it's out of range. But they messed it up, so like, if my queen is over here, the range is like too short. Queen is over here, then I can cast it. They need to reduce the max range if they actually want to do this. I think this is a bad change because it makes the game significantly easier to play, but I'm kind of against that stuff in general, but as it is, it doesn't even work properly. And it's also, if there's a queen in range, so for example, the fourth, it's out of range, right? From the main queen. I can't cast inject over here with the main queen. But if I move these queens away, then I can. They have to go like a certain distance away. Now I can cast inject. So it's like, these queens blocks this queen from casting inject in this hatchery. Yeah, this is super weird. So what it does is like, normally in a game of StarCraft 2 when you're playing Zerg, let's say I have these guys spreading creep over here, right? And then it's, you know, the late game, and I just want to stack injects on my bases. You see, like, and I would do it with like the base camera and shift Q and an inject, right? Now I can't cast it because there's queens blocking the hatcheries. So like, yeah. They only go to the, like, basically doing this, they will only go to hatcheries without a queen. Marine Marauder change? You mean the subgroup thing, or is there something else? As you can see, like, it doesn't even stop you from your queens from running around, right? Because you see this queen is running around already because the range is too too long. So like it doesn't even do what they wanted it to do. Even though I disagree with that in general, it's yeah. Ah, really? Okay. Yeah, that's also a super weird change. Yeah, like some of these changes I think are really cool, but others are just like very weird. And I'm not really a fan of the dropper lord and like warper sim and stuff like that changes, you know. Like whenever like a really high level player executes like a clean drop, that's like a very cool thing in the game, right? Like being fast about picking up your units and getting out of there without losing anything is like a very cool thing to see. But now it's literally just like I don't have a hotkey for it, but it's just like this, right? And it's just like okay. Oh, well. And sure, it's gonna be easier to execute drops, but I kind of like might be good for the casual player, but I think for the StarCraft esports experience, it just takes away from it. Because now when you see a high-level player doing a move like that, it doesn't look as... You lose respect for it, right? It doesn't look as cool.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is a massive design change, right? Things like this. Like, it's gonna be so easy for players now to just, like, drop, pick up, and leave. Yeah. The thing is, like, I kind of think that, like, anything that makes the game easier is just, like, you give some illusion to casual players that they're actually playing better. But it shouldn't really matter, right? Because if you want the game to play for you, then why are you playing StarCraft, right? There's other games you can play then. It's like if you want to play tennis, you go to play tennis. You don't bring like a... You know, what are they called? Like the guns that can like shoot balls. And just like you go to the tennis court and start shooting balls over the net, you know? It's like... Okay, that might be fun, but it's not tennis anymore, you know? I might be just a grandpa when it comes to this stuff, but... I don't really see the benefits. I only see it as like it takes away from the good things about StarCraft in general. Yeah, like for sure. Like we could be playing Brood War, right? There's definitely like a line somewhere when it's like enjoyment versus effort, right? Like me personally, like I don't mind the way things work in Brood War. The only things I mind in Brood War is like how clunky everything is. Like not the controls, like that, you know, MBS and all that stuff. I'm okay with that. But it's like the lack of customization, availability in hotkeys and stuff like that, and you know, unit pathing, like things that kind of seem random, you know. Reaver shots, like anything that has like a random factor to it, I don't like. Even though it's not really random, right? But it kind of feels random. My opinion on it, at least. Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's just a placebo thing, right? Like, just let's say they added auto inject. Would the Zerg players who are playing on the ladder feel like the game became way more fun and way more enjoyable because they have auto inject. I don't think so. And I think if that's the case, I think they don't actually enjoy playing the game in the first place. I think they would prefer to play something else. But that's, you know, my opinion on these things. I could be wrong. I'm open to being proven wrong. Hello, hello. Yeah, I mean it's fine, right? It's all fine. It's just I thought personally that was a very bad change because I think they shouldn't make the game easier than it already is. Brings crowd. Does it though? Like sure, if StarCraft 2 was a brand new game and they're trying to bring in a bunch of players, new players, and keep them, then sure. But you know, if you're all you care about is bringing a crowd for like no matter what, then you shouldn't make an RTS, right? Then you should make another game. More strategy, less microing. Yeah, but then you're going away from what makes StarCraft, right? There are a lot of other games out there who has the more strategical aspect and less on micromanagement already. And for me, when I see RTS, for me, there's a reason why the RT comes before the S in RTS, right? The focus is on the real time, on the execution. And strategy and stuff like that should matter, for sure. But it should be secondary to execution, in my opinion. And that's the reason I started, like, why I got hooked on StarCraft in the first place. Because otherwise we could just, you know, we could have AIs executing all the stuff for us and we just tell the AIs what to do. Yeah. Like I could get behind changes like that, actually. Like if there is an easier but less efficient way to do stuff, I would be okay with stuff like that, you know? Where it's like, you know, 80% of the efficiency of doing it the manual way, whatever, right? I could be okay with that. But when you're just making the game straight up just removing mechanical aspects from the game, I think it diminishes the game. Fully change with this new update? I mean, it won't fully change, but the early game and timings and stuff like that will have to be rediscovered and relearned, right? So there will be like a, you know, a few months where we're trying to figure out everything out that's new. But then I think the game will look pretty much the same after we've actually figured out how to play the game properly again. I think anyone who says S2 is too much real time and not enough strategy has thought it through too much. Hasn't thought it through too much, I guess. I mean. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. That's why I think like the higher up you go in skill and rating or whatever in StarCraft 2, the more strategy comes relevant, right? The cleaner your mechanics get, the more important strategy gets. Yeah, that's what I figured, yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Mana. Enjoying the new PTR? It's fun. Mostly just because it's new, I think. But I'm having fun. Are we gonna get cannon rushed? Most likely we are, right? Oh. Wonder if rallying this one becomes... He's blocking us. I don't think this is the correct way to play as Protoss. Like, I think you definitely want to just block. Double adapting to Oracle. Wonder if going 15 hatch when we get blocked might be better. 14 hatch. We're probably gonna get harassed quite a bit as well, so... Might have been better. Think we want semi-fast link speed here, so I'm probably gonna go 19 Overlord. I guess 23 Overlord. Holy shit, that adapt is so quick, man. It's gonna be kind of tricky to... Can I even get my hatchery down? I don't know if we can. This is actually so hard to deal with, because we don't have any way to actually get our third queen out here. Normally we would have a third queen at this point. Ah, that's bad. That's game pretty much. Our link speed is still so far away. Holy shit, this is strong. This is so strong. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, I think this way of playing is so super strong for Protoss. But it's just like, this is literally the only thing they can do. Maybe I have to go pull first in these situations. I'm not really sure. Nexus is late? I mean, yeah, but I think he's still very far ahead after all this. There's also gonna be an Oracle pretty soon. Yeah, we're very, very far behind. Very, very far behind. skipping Roachborn here. The situation we find ourselves in at the moment. You could potentially get like Warp Kit right now and probably hit like a pretty strong timing actually. Don't want to lose these guys. Oh, I couldn't get it. That's so bad, man. We're kind of cooked here. Oh, he has so much energy. Very, very dead. I think we could have held this if the initial stasis didn't go off.
공격받고 있습니다. 전마군이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고
Yeah. Things are looking kind of tough here.
받고 있습니다.
Oh shit. Yeah. We are giga cooked. We have good upgrades, but that's about the only thing we have.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
This is gonna be very, very hard to hold.
수행할 수 없는 명령입니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 기지가
Ah,
변형 완료. 벌레가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 변형 완료. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Did we lose? We might have lost. We have like no mining right now. And one last push here. My queens are burping. We were winning really hard, and then he got to kill like all our bases with 2 Tempest. Maybe we can still win. Our army is a lot better than his, for sure. Gotta re-expand everywhere. Did not let that happen though. It's a big no-no. Our upgrades kinda suck, unfortunately.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Gonna need a Great Spire, for sure.
기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
He has a tricky army now to deal with.
공격받고 있습니다. 베스핀 가능성이 공격받고 있습니다. 점막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다. 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
What? What happened to my infestors? Huh? I have no idea what I just did, but I lost all my infestors somehow. We threw this game. This was a massive, massive throw.
점막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다.
We were so far ahead for so long. Played this game really, really bad. Really, really bad. I think we've been trading very efficiently in general until I have no idea where did my infestors go in here? I have no idea where they died. If we had the infestors, I think we'd actually be quite confident in winning this game. Stand inside Storm. Oh, really? Yeah, they get one shot by Storm. So that's fun. We have no way to actually... Like, we were so far ahead, but since then, like, since we threw, we've not been able to, like, be maxed up with a bank, so I can't actually afford to, like, trade into static. Which is why he has been allowed to come back here. It's very sad. My queens are never where I want them to be either. I was able to stay on like so few bases for so long actually. Kinda nuts. We're gonna lose this space, but there's not much we can actually do about that. There's no way we can actually hold that base. Yeah, that was a good fight, but we're still just so far behind.
장막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
I have to fight before he gets Storm out again. Fuck, and I can't do it. I think we lose now. Alright, can I help please? This was like just a little bit too bad. Just like so little too bad. So many times over. But yeah, like the second you run out of infestor energy in these situations, you just lose. Man. We threw this game so many times. What a sad game. What a sad game, dude. I just need to play like 4% less bad. We would have won. But like we were dead from the start also, so. But yeah, the fight here where we lost the investors. I didn't even realize we lost them until they were gone. Like how did they all die? Was it literally just like Tempest target firing and storms? Oh my god, dude. Okay. Now it makes a lot more sense, all of this. Mechanics after the break, they're pretty bad. They're pretty damn bad. Like this was like an unlosable game in so many situations, I think. But, yeah. But like, I got kind of confused in the mid game because like he didn't take a fifth for so long. His fifth just started mining now, right? It's a 14-minute fifth. I felt like he must have been so broke, but the new economy kind of makes it so he can stay on 4 bases for so long. I feel like the game was like 100% over now. This position. This army is really, really bad. But then this fight went way worse than I thought it would. I just didn't have any anti-air here, which is very bad. I mean, I had some interestors, but yeah. And I stayed too long. This was really bad, letting these zealots kill this base for free. And then these Tempests getting to do this was also so bad. Like this was like the first big throw, I think, after we had made the comeback happen. But then I think we're still winning, even after all this, because we got a really good fight at some point. Yeah. Yeah, then this fight happened too. Yeah. No, we lost. We lost. We managed to throw this game somehow. We should have won the game though, I think. Like even from this position, the position is not great, but I think we still have a chance to win. This fight should have been so much better than it was, I think. Because I didn't get another shroud off. I should be putting a shroud already. Yeah. Now we're kind of winning again. we're still winning this game. I'm not sure how we lose from this position. Like, we throw away all our Corruptors poorly. And then I was too eager in this fight. Like, I just need to pull back here, transfuse my Ultras, and then take a proper fight. And I think we destroy this army. Like, I got too baited by these, like, 2 Immortals here. I was like, oh, 3 Immortals. And then I start taking a really bad fight. Because Neurals like this, like, aren't really good. Because I can't really kill anything. He just runs away. And I wasted so much mana here. Should have transfused the Immortals probably, or couldn't even have used Neural there. Like, we're still winning the game, which is the saddest part. If I just could get my units together and take a proper fight and not do this. I felt like I had to keep throwing units at him because of these spaces being exposed, but I could have waited a little bit and had a proper fight with like 4 Ultras, some Lings. Yeah, this was bad. Bad gameplay. It was a fun game though, either way. See. No, you can't really ever, like, if the armor is in position, you can't really ever fight into a base with Ultras. You can just like do hit and runs when they're not there. The problem is, like, I messed up so many times and lost my outer bases, so my economy was so too bad. Because, like, you need to have a bit of a bank to actually start throwing units against static. So if we, yeah, just didn't lose as many bases as we did, I think we were fine. Nidus harass? Not when you're playing this style. If you have lurkers, then sure, but not with Sling Ultra. Yeah, I mean, that was just like a symptom, really. The biggest problem was that I let him... Well, that I lost all my infestors in the top right fight was the first big problem. And then he got to kill like my left side base with Zealots completely for free, which he should not have been able to because I had way better upgrades. So there's no way like those Zealots should get to do that much. And then the Tempest got to kill like 2 hatcheries on the right side at the same time for free as well. So it was just like a couple of really, really bad moves by me. I mean, yeah, I could have used Lings a lot better for sure, but I didn't need to use Nidus. That situation. Be back, guys. 1 minute. Control this army movement. I mean, you don't need a Nidus to do that. I mean, if you have lurkers, then sure, it's good. But otherwise, you have to also think of the cost of the Nidus. Like with that style I was playing, I could just be way more active with links on the map. Sure. Like especially in a situation like that, I think I had like 2-2 versus +1 only at some point. If I just have a group of links running around the map, there's no way we can actually deal with them. I was just, yeah. Not playing my best game of StarCraft, for sure. No, I just don't have enough games on PTR. I only have 16 games. Well, it's 35 because we did the placements as well, right? So it's 30 plus placement matches. But yeah, the new Shroud is very strong, I think. Very, very strong. Because you can get it off way more consistently now. For sure. And it's also not having to get the upgrade. You can get into it a lot easier. Because a big problem before was dying in the transition. Which feels a lot easier now. Obviously, Protoss mid-game is a lot weaker than it was before, so... yeah. I mean, that's because there's so many bugs reaped. Like, there's so many bugs. Like, game-breaking bugs. Like the Terran command center giving more supply than it's supposed to. Protoss Nexus having less supply than it's supposed to, I think. And then all the other insane bugs that exist. If they fix that stuff, I think a lot more people will play. There's enough hate going around. Don't need to add to it. Roach Hydra blocking Banes? Is that something new in PTR or what? I don't think I've seen that. The game is easy enough already. Okay, CBT. I mean, I think the patch is happening. Like, you should definitely be vocal about what you like and you don't like, you know, for sure. But I don't think there's anything stopping the patch from happening. The question is just if they're gonna make any more changes to it or not before it happens. This is too early, right? The drone. Yeah, it's way too early. Way too early. That is not worth. Not worth. Do we do another double extractor trick here? I guess we do. Okay, this build is scuffed, guys. Don't copy this build. Don't do it. I have the same timings as I would with going Overlord before hatchery. Because my hatchery is like 3 seconds faster, so this is not it. I don't think the patch is that bad. Like, there's a lot of cool things in this patch, I think. I just wish they wouldn't have touched the economy. If they did this patch without touching the economy, I think the patch would have been quite pog. And I also wish they would have not done so many... I wish they would stop trying to make the game easier. I think that's what StarCraft needs. Holy shit, Reaper is so fast, man. So fucking fast. This did not play out the way I wanted it to. This is good though. Ah. Shit. That's not good either. It's so slow, man. So fucking slow. Almost perfect build. Almost.
점막 중앙이 공격받고 있습니다.
A bit tricky.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 변형 완료. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
I think we have to go Mura here. Hello? Missing like every single Kansus.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Bruh. I didn't miss like 4 transfusions there. Would have been quite a nice situation for us, to be honest. have to be careful with moving up the mutas here, because he could potentially come by the Hellions again. Not gonna change things there, because they're bugged. I would have blown up those Hellions with the changelings. GG. 안녕하세요. Blizzard was perfect, yeah. Maybe just drone scout and question mark. The thing about overlords, like, if drone scouting is worse than just going pool first, 9 times out of 10. I mean, I'm not 100% sure with these drone counts, but most likely, yeah. With 12 drone counts, it's always the case. Like 100% always the case. So it might be like some scenarios where drone scouting is better with 8 workers. Maybe. But the thing is, like, imagine you're playing... I mean, especially, at least in CVC, for sure, that's still the case. It's just always never worth it to drone scout in CVC. Maybe there's like some argument to be made for it in CVT. But I think I would rather just play pool first than drone scout. I mean, your hatchery is, 25. It doesn't really make it more or less painful going pool first, I think. Because, you're still getting the hatchery around the same time as your first queen, so... Or usually before that, so... But yeah, if you're doing like a one-base build, then yeah, it's painful, right? The fact you're a returning player also on the come up as probably adds to why you feel so strong bias though. Yeah, I mean for sure, I can understand that. I mean it's the same for me, right? Like I've spent 10 years playing with 12 workers and perfected as much as I could perfect. And that all just goes out the window, right? But I still think it's fun to mess around with, even though I think it's probably worse long term. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's the most fun for me at least. But the more I play, the more I wish they would have just kept the old starting supply, because that would allow for a lot more options in the early game, I think. Though it might make that would probably, like, if we had the old starting supply, I think Zerg would just go hatchery before Overlord every single game, right? In these kinds of games, which might be too strong. It would also allow Protoss to like chrono boost instantly at the start of the game, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's... I don't really like want to theorycraft too much in CBT at the moment because they have the bugged orbital. So I'm not sure, like, it makes a little bit of difference, but... I guess it doesn't really change the early timings at all. Like the Reaper and stuff, so... maybe it's fine. Does kind of feel like you have to go pool first in CBT, though. Maybe not. Maybe you just have to go 18 Overlord. What am I opening in CBT? I've been doing either 13 Overlord or 14 Overlord. Like either one or double extractor trick. Into 14 hatch, 16 pool, 16 gas. 18 Overlord. I think there's an argument for 23 Overlord. And then you do another extractor trick. Like, I think that can also be fine. Like, you go drone on 18, and then 19 Overlord and extractor trick, so you can spend the 2 larva, and then you're like, you supply blocked for like 6 seconds or so. 4 larva? I don't think you ever 4 larva floating. I think you have barely 2 larva floating with that. I'll try it. No, because you do an extractor trick on 24. Yeah, but your larva isn't synced, really. "13 pool, you mean? With 9 roach push? That could maybe be fine. There's probably room for a lot of aggressive builds to be messed around with, but in general, because it's just like... because of the fact that you need to make an Overlord so early, any sort of aggression kinda... well, 13 hatch, 13 pool? I don't know about that. Like, you're floating larva for so long if you're doing that. You could go 17 gas as well, I think, and just have 3 drones mining for a little bit on like one of the patches here. I think that would be too bad. But like there should be no point where I'm floating 4 larvae here. No shot. Put this guy into gas too. I think in CVT you could also do this probably. Set this guy down. Should start the queen in natural first. And then we can do 1 circling here. And then 1 circling here. I'll be putting 1 larva right now. But that's it. Just 1 larva. Yeah, but I think if you have good drone micro, you can afford everything. I guess, yeah. But even if I made it after the queens, we're talking like 2 seconds later, I wouldn't be floating, you know, a shit ton of larva. And here you can actually, I think, do this, and then let's go back. Because I think you can go the 3rd hatch before this overlord. A 3rd? Get a 3rd? Just take it. I mean, you just send it out before the Reaper comes, you know. You can just take it right now. Now this part of the game kind of sucks, because you want the 3rd queen and an overlord. Maybe I should do overlord before 3rd queen here, most likely. This is all fine. I should have done overlord before queen though. For sure. I mean, we're playing versus the AI, guys. We're playing versus the AI. You could probably do something like this, I think. I also think you could just play 2 base unit maybe in CBT. That could also be alright. Just do double inject and play 2 base. Like, this is what I've done that felt like the most natural. Smooth. But yeah, I haven't really optimized the build well enough because I'm not sure about the mid-game timing yet versus turn. Like, when do I need spores, when do I need Beniness, when do I need my queens to be ready? Like, can I cut queens at some point? But yeah, this feels pretty decent, I think. You can also do... I think actually doing double extractor trick is actually better. Like double extractor trick 14 overlord. I think is probably better than doing 13 overlord. If you're gonna go 14 hatch. That is. Psyched for Sweden's participation in the World Cup. I have not really followed the World Cup at all. To be honest. Yeah, I don't expect to be able to watch too much of it live, right? As I'm living in Korea. And if I can't do that, then it kind of kills the hype for me a lot. Doesn't play games, he says. US time zones? I mean, kind of, but like... I think I'm like 12 to 15 hours ahead. I think it is, right? Depending on the coast. So, I guess a little bit, but... It's still kind of rough. Right? That's the time difference between the US and Korea, right? Yeah, 13 to 16 hours ahead. So it's kind of tricky, No games to be found, guys. I'm back in Korea. Yes, I came back roughly a week ago, a little bit less than a week ago. Should we just play some the regular server guys maybe? It feels so pointless though when there's a big patch like this coming to play the live version, but there's nobody to play. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is kind of painful too for me, just sitting here waiting for a game. Oh, play game. ZVZ. Weird thing to say on the PTR, for sure. Like, how dare you not have 7k MMR on the, or 6k in my case, I guess, on the PTR. Ah, misclick. Yeah, I think so too. But it's also, like, things would be so different if the Overlord was the correct speed. Yeah, no, like, I think definitely they should have, like, either just done the economy changes, which I think they should not have done, right? But either just do the economy changes or do everything else, right? Not both at the same time. It's way too much at once. It's gonna take forever to figure out, and there's gonna be so much broken stuff. And they're not gonna be fast with fixing the broken stuff, most likely, so... Looking by the PTR already, it's been out for over a week, and, you know, there's still so many bugs they haven't fixed. Let's move this guy over there. Got to do the extractor trick here. It's kind of bad. It's also kind of awkward in CVC. I feel like taking a third in CVC feels almost impossible. At least, like, I feel like you have to go baiting nest before third. Ah, he went full first. Okay, I'm gonna kill this overlord too. You're not getting away, sir. It's fine. Okay. Being sure, why not? Maybe we actually do a tumor here, because it's... No, I think we just still do the inject. Because we're 30s later, we want the extra larva. Okay. Kinda wish I would have not gotten these banings, but
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
this is just so inefficient for him considering he opened with pool first. Would be nice to see if he had a lair or not, but it's not upgrading anything. Most likely it's just going Mira. It's upgrading something now. Okay. I mean, this has to be Muta, right? Could maybe be like Nidus Swarmos or something, but that's not really something to be concerned about, so... The second Evo chamber. Raptors. Okay, this guy is memeing, I guess. Just do this.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 공격받고 있습니다.
Fine. It's a whoopsie by him, for sure. It's going higher. Okay. Guess we just do the same. He's gonna go like one base Broodlord. I mean, we could also just go Spire, but... Or two base Broodlord, I guess. But he's already just so far behind.
변형 완료.
Maybe we're just gonna get Vipers. Even if he gets his hatchery, it doesn't really matter too much.
변형 완료.
I guess he could theoretically do ultras, right? I should probably prepare for that possibility. There's the Broodlord. This guy is having fun at least. I don't know what the plan is here for my opponent. Okay. Alright. Alright. Yeah, I thought he was having a blast, you know, just doing these random builds, but turns out he was very angry. Okay, let's try to queue one last game, guys. If we can't get a game in like 5 minutes, I'm probably just gonna call it a day here. Getting kinda late. Yeah. Report. I don't think that's going to help. Terrible is this PTR? 10 to 1. I mean, is 1 terrible or 10 terrible? I like, there's some really good stuff in the patch. There's also a lot of really bad stuff. So it's some hit and miss. Late runs is terrible. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the economy changes personally, but at least not long term. Yeah, no, the mineral change is huge, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it also kind of kills a lot of. I mean, aggressive builds were already bad, but I feel like they're even worse now because of the fact that you need to make an overlord so early. Like you're just, yeah, you have no larva and you're forced into making overlords super early. Yeah, no, I definitely felt that in the game versus Mana earlier, where he was just like sitting on 4 base for like 15 minutes. That was yeah. No, the reason people think that there was more aggressive builds in Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty is just that the players were in general like a lot worse at the game back then compared to now, and B, that Wings of Liberty was out for like 2.5 years, and same thing with Heart of the Swarm was also out for 2.5 years. Legacy of the Void has been out for 10 plus years, and we still have some aggressive builds. So, like, Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty was nowhere near as nowhere close as figured out as Legacy of the Void is. Like, if you go back and look at the first 2 years of Legacy of the Void, it's you're not gonna see a lot of repetitive styles, really. Should have had the TL mining changes from way back then. Yeah, we should have. I actually suggested that to Blizzard in 2015, I think it was. Before the release of... maybe it was just like right after the release of Legacy, I'm not sure. But I think that something like that would be a lot more exciting. Like messing with gather rates and stuff like that. Yeah, Brood War's economy is entirely different. Like, entirely different. I think the Brood War economy is vastly superior to the StarCraft 2 economy. But it's a completely different game. So you can't really compare it to StarCraft 2. Well, you get 8 minerals per mining, and you also... like, they don't have the same efficiency, right? Like in StarCraft 2, you put two workers on a mineral patch, and they will both mine 100% efficiently, right? Back and forth. In Brood War, they won't. Like, they will bounce a lot more back and forth to different patches and so on. And having your workers spread out on more bases is more efficient than having them... like, having 16 workers per base, to use the StarCraft 2 example, right? The economy doesn't scale as linearly as it does in StarCraft 2. Like, honestly, I would play Brood War if it just had more setting and hotkey customization. Like, if I could just port my StarCraft 2 hotkeys into Brood War, then I would 100% play some Brood War. Like, for sure. It's just so hard to get used to. I mean, yeah, it's just hard to get used to not having your hotkeys and not being able to use drag scroll and not being able to have camera hotkeys and these kinds of things. Old man? I mean, I'm old. And I also played Brood War for like 4 years before I played StarCraft 2. So... I actually didn't... The first like 6 months of StarCraft 2, I actually didn't play StarCraft 2 because I thought it was worse than Brood War. This Rainer? I have no idea. I don't think so. I think he would have wrote something if that was him. Most likely. But maybe it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, in the end, I think it doesn't really change that much, the worker start. It's just... doesn't give any benefits either. And it kills some diversity, I think, so... Overall, I think it's a net negative. I keep forgetting the extractor trick. It's gonna take a while to get used to. Warp gate first. Guy is living on the edge. Like, what the fuck? Does he have a cannon at least? No? Like, what the fuck is this? It's full walling. Okay. He's cooking something. I mean, I'm just gonna go scout everything, right? I wonder if we can go kill the cybercore. 6 links. Maybe not. Okay, we have to go find the probe. And our overlords to safety. That's a lot of gateways. I think he's gonna make salads, guys. I mean, surely there's a pylon somewhere, right? He's not doing this off a naked. Must be a pylon somewhere. I feel like this would have been better if he just didn't go warp gate first, though, because then he could have just made salads out of gateways. And then... Where is the pylon? Actually, kind of problematic that we're not finding it. There's the probe. I don't think this was a real winner, guys. Ah, he was breaking from this guy's. But he should be making warp gates now, right? Like he should be spending all this money into warp gates. Especially when you're going for a timing, like you get an extra unit, right? The second you make a warp gate. Yeah. I was very worried there would be like a hidden pylon somewhere that I'd missed. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be it for me for today. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I might like set up so we can play like some AoE 2 or something tomorrow. Like we need to find something else to play, I think, until there's either a PTR update or until the patch goes live. So yeah, it's really hard to play the PTR. Evo? Maybe we could play some Evo. It's just, is there a ladder for that? Like, do they have like some custom ladder set up? And is it active? That's pretty cool. Like if it's more active than the PTR ladder, we could do some of that for sure. Yeah, we can look into that for tomorrow for sure. Yeah, send me on Discord, Aki. Thank you, thank you. Alright, let's raid somebody, guys. Depends on the time. Alright, we'll give it a try. Could be fun. Could be fun. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Thank you. Alright, cool, cool. What's up, System? How am I liking the PTR? There's some cool things. My main takeaway is that I wish they would have done the like either would have just done the economy changes or just done everything else, right? And not do both at the same time. Because all of the like non-economy changes are so big as well. There's a bit too much at once to actually effectively test anything. That's my biggest complaint, really. But yeah, I'm just finishing up for today, guys. So I'm gonna look for somebody to raid, and then I'm gonna head out. Could raid Loco again. He's still doing the AoE 2 grind. There's not many people streaming right now. Yeah, I guess we're doing Loco again, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Sisty. I hope you have a good day, right? Should be like early afternoon for you. I'm not mistaken. They're alive? Oh, can I cancel the raid? Cancel. Okay, we're raiding Cyril. Sorry, Loco. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Enjoy some Cyril games.